Welcome. This is a review on the Liftmaster 3-ton dual pump ultra low steel floor jack. I had this thing over a year and I put it through the ringer and I lugged it around until my palms got swollen. You may see this thing on mud. You may see this thing in a video where I move a 1-ton or 1-ton and change rock and I lifted the rock and I use it in all kinds of positions. And this doesn't only work on the floor. It works in awkward positions. It is very heavy and it might need 2 persons to lift it. In that job of lifting this thing over 300 times over a series of weekends working on this stone that I moved around, my palms got swollen. So this thing is heavy. It is good to use it on the floor, like on a concrete floor or on a driveway. It's made out of steel, it's heavy, and it's not portable. Did I say that I use it through mud? As you can see, the wear and tear of this thing, I had it for a year and it is still working. It has dual pumps for hydraulics and it is easy to lift an SUV or a regular car. I'm reviewing this thing for somebody that may be thinking to acquire this Liftmaster jack, and I'm reviewing it in case you're on the fence. I'm not sure if I got an exceptional piece of equipment or this is the normal quality that this company produces, but I had this for a year and it works like a charm still. My dad uses this all the time and he's grateful for making this acquisition and it works great for him. And he's been working on a clutch. He took down the transmission on his car and then he put it back together and he used this intensely. And if you're looking for a jack that is a portable jack to lift it with one hand and carry it around with handle on the side, that is an aluminum jack. This is not it. This is not a jack to keep in your car to do random jobs when you go, whatever your type of business is. This is like a garage jack, like a home DIY jack, and it is heavy. Damn it. On the box, it says that you need 2 persons to lift this thing. I lifted this on my own, but as I said a bit earlier, my palms swelled up and it was a bad idea. Eventually, I started using a hand truck to lug it around, and I used it in all kinds of awkward positions. Vertically, with the front wheels completely down and the rear wheels perpendicularly behind them, it will not work. It needs, I think there is something with the oil system and the mechanism, so it doesn't work in a 360-degree position, but it does work. And I abuse this thing. As you can see here from this thing, the rubber kind of got chipped away, and I tried to use like a piece of plywood to make it not grind against the stone. Like, reviewing it out of the box is like a brand new piece and you don't know, but once you put it for a year through the ringer, you know that this piece works. I'm not sure if I got an exceptional piece and this was like a one-off from the company, but it does work and it does work well. It still works right now and we use it every chance we get. Now let me just tighten this thing right here and you can see it still lifts. I mean, I saw questions online where people were trying to get this thing to lift the car out of 2 pumps, but I think that's just asking too much of any jack. And I lifted SUVs with it, I lifted like sedans with it, and they're heavy. And this thing, I haven't done any maintenance on it yet, but this spring I'm definitely going to do some maintenance where my fingers don't freeze. If you're like a person that needs something on a lighter weight, this is definitely not the jack for you. If you want to use it on a garage concrete floor or on your driveway, which doesn't have a lot of bumps and problems, then you can use it there. However, if you're trying to lift this off the ground and lug it around, it might be too heavy. This thing weighs about 80 pounds and I got my palms swollen because I was lifting it from the rear wheels constantly to adjust it under the stone that I was trying to get off the ground, lifted with wooden rollers and all kinds of pulleys to just make it work. And I'm here in the, I guess, dead of spring with snow. The birds are stopped chirping. I guess the evening is coming around. Trying to review this thing after a whole year of use and intense use. This is not like a once and done or twice a year kind of use. We abuse this thing. My dad took apart his transmission and he changed the clutch on his one of his cars. We had to take apart the trans case that goes to the real wheels, and we used this thing to lift the trans case in place and couple it back into the transmission. And you can see it's chipped, it's dirty. For quite some time, the wheels here had some mud in them because I used it in mud on the bare earth or inside a hole just to lift my stone out of the ground to gain the leverage of moving it about. And there's a bunch of cutscenes where I use this in all kinds of positions, not just a regular floor position, and it worked. As I said a bit earlier, it doesn't work completely vertically where the front wheels are pointing directly down and the rear wheels are vertically on top of the front wheels. Then I think there's something with the hydraulics. It doesn't work like that. It loses some kind of pressure. And I think it has to do with the fact that it's meant to be used in a regular floor setting, not as I used it. I am very satisfied with it and it does work. So if you're thinking to getting this thing, it's made out of steel. Everything that I looked on seems to be made out of steel or some sort of steel alloy. It's heavy, and me and my dad, we abuse this thing. Even though it has a safety feature for overloading, my opinion is not to overload it. So if you're thinking to buy this thing, I hope this review and my experience of over a year with it will help you make your decision. Thank you for watching. Maybe subscribe, maybe not. Thank you.